Alright guys, Vlogtober day number 2. Yeah, we're just gonna get right into the story. Ava drove into town. Nothing had changed in the small town of Whispering Lake in the last 10 years since she had been back home. The same mom and pop diners lined the streets. The park still had their strong oak trees, the leaves now a reddish-brown color. The town square was decorated with jack-o'-lanterns and plastic ghosts. The forest with the dark lake inside of it. Oh, how Ava hated that lake. She hadn't gone near it since the summer after high school graduation. She couldn't, not after what happened. Ava pulled into her parents' driveway and grabbed her suitcase from the trunk of her car. They were going to be sad that they missed her, but Ava knew they were having fun sailing the Mediterranean. Ava unlocked the front door and walked inside. That night, Ava walked into the forest, dressed in her black dress. She walked over to the lake to see that Sienna and Jake were already there. Okay, so whose genius idea was it to have the memorial here? Sienna asked. Not mine, Jake said. They looked at Ava. Well, don't look at me. I didn't even want to come back into town after what happened. I only came back because I got the invitation and because I felt I owed it to Melina to come. So if none of us sent the invitation, then who did? Jake asked. Everyone was confused. This is way too weird. We really should leave, Sienna said. Agreed, Ava said. Everyone was prepared to leave, but when they turned around, they couldn't believe what they saw. Standing there was Melina. But they knew it couldn't be. She drowned that Halloween night 10 years ago, in the very lake they were standing at. They were all there. They saw her land in the water. They looked at each other in disbelief. You all are going to pay for what you did that night, Melina said, for the part that each of you played in my death. Ava looked at Jake. She knew they were the main ones Melina would be after. After all, if they hadn't given into their feelings for one another, Melina wouldn't have ran off into the forest. She wouldn't have been near the lake at all. Ava couldn't figure out what Sienna had to do with all of it, though. Yes, she was there, but she was just a bystander. Sienna looked at Jake. She knew what her part was in Melina's death. In some ways, it was all her fault. We're going to go through that night, Melina said. Let's start at the beginning. Ava opened her mouth to speak. You don't start, Ava, Melina said. Sienna starts. Ava looked at Sienna, waiting to hear the part that she played. I knew how Jake could never turn down a dare, Sienna said. And I knew that Ava was harboring feelings for Jake. It was supposed to be innocent. Ava looked horrified as the realization of what actually happened that night sank in. I dared Jake to kiss Ava, make her believe that he had feelings for her too. How could you? Ava asked, horrified. It was just harmless fun, Sienna said. Harmless for who? Ava asked. Ava looked at Jake, who was looking down at the ground ashamed. And you? Did you ever have feelings for me? You were my friend. My best friend, Jake said. You had been since we were 4 years old starting kindergarten together. Some friend you turned out to be, Ava said. I'm sorry, Jake apologized. I never should have done it. No, you shouldn't have, Ava said. Not only did you hurt me, but you killed Melina too. Ava looked at Melina. I'm so sorry. I never intended to act on my feelings for Jake. I had been pushing them down since he started dating you, but Jake came to me that night, telling me all the things that I dreamed he would say to me. I gave in to the feelings. I kissed him. It never should have happened. And it wouldn't have if not for the dare, Melina said. I know that. Can you ever forgive me? Ava asked. Of course I can. I just needed to hear that you were sorry for what had happened. I am. It's been tearing me apart for the last 10 years. Your life will be spared, Melina said. Melina looked at Jake and Sienna. These two, however, will not get away so easily. They deliberately set out to hurt me. They manipulated both of us. I'm sorry, Jake said. Not enough. There's nothing you can say to make this better, Melina said angrily. Honestly, Melina, we're sorry, Sienna said. Did any of you actually try to save me that night? Melina asked. I mean, you were all there by the lake. I remember hearing Ava pleading for help to pull me out of the water. I don't actually remember any of you coming to help her, though. We were in shock. We saw you running. We ran after you. We wanted to explain what was going on. We saw you slip and hit your head. You fell into the water. We didn't know what to do, Sienna said. I brought Ava here so she can know what her friends did to her, and to let her know that I know she did everything she could to save me. But I brought you two here to die, the same way I did. Jake and Sienna looked at each other horrified. Melina grabbed Sienna. How is this possible? Ghosts can't actually grab anything, Sienna said. Who said I was a ghost? Now, it's time for my part of the story. I was in the water for, I'm assuming, a long time. I was unconscious for a lot of it. But once I regained consciousness, I got out. I laid low for a while, did some snooping, did some eavesdropping. I heard you and Jake talking about the dare and how you felt guilty about it. Guilty for how it would make Ava feel if the truth got out. Never once did I hear you say you felt guilty for what it did to me. Melina dragged Sienna to the shore of the lake and held her under the water. Jake started to walk away and Ava followed him. Where do you think you're going? Ava asked. I'm not letting Melina kill me. Not because of some stupid dare. You really don't get it, do you? Ava asked. You hurt her. You hurt me. Look, it was bad enough that you made me believe that you reciprocated my feelings. All because of some stupid dare. But you cheated on her. She had feelings for you and she believed that you had feelings for her. And then, when she was all but drowning in the water, you didn't even rush in to save her. You stood there and did nothing. Now tell me, was it because you didn't want to face the consequences of your actions? Figured it'd be easier if she just died? Melina walked over to them. Trying to escape? She asked. Melina, this is insane. It was one mistake. One stupid mistake. Melina looked at Ava. Do you want to do the honors? She asked. Jake looked at Ava, hoping she would because he knew that Ava could never go through with actually killing him. No, Ava said. He's all yours. I have nothing more to say to him. Ava hugged Melina and walked away as Melina dragged Jake back to the lake. The end. Yeah, I know it's dark and all that, but it's spooky season. Let me know what you guys think of this story and come back tomorrow for another story. Bye, guys.